What's up, guys? In a few weeks, we are going to get that first look at the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Reignition toy line from Playmates, and it got me thinking, if this toy line does well and Playmates makes some of that Mighty Morphin Power Rangers money, what are the chances that not only will we get more Mighty Morphin Power Ranger toys, but could we actually get a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers style series? Let's talk about it, break it down, and hear my crazy fan theory. Hit that intro, Rangers.
You are watching the Fan Club.
You're watching the Fan Club.
And you're watching the Fan Club. Do you know what time it is?
And you know what time it is.
It's time for the Fan Club. Let's go. Hey!
I can't do this on my own, cause you know things ain't always sweet when you out here in these streets. But my morphin' when it morphed, I made a fake.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Fan Club. It is your boy, Dan Brosnan in the building. Welcome. We are so happy to have you guys. In today's video, we are going to piggyback off of a project that Dawson Ryder put out yesterday. It was a video by the name of, Is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Really the Most Popular? And he kind of goes over his thoughts on why Hasbro and Bandai used Mighty Morphin all of the time, because it sells and it is a moneymaker. He went on to talk about how that first generation, because it was so big, it boomed, it blew up and was a pop culture phenomenon, that whenever you can tap back into that, you know it's going to sell. And there's so many fans out there that are sick of Mighty Morphin, especially like the super fans like us that pay attention all the time and buy figures. We know that there is like an overload on Mighty Morphin sometimes when it comes to the figures and stuff, but those always sell the best. When you're looking at like even reselling, the Green Rangers, the Red Rangers, the Blue Rangers, they sell for way more, and especially if they're Mighty Morphin. Now, obviously, there's going to be some figures that are more rare than others, like this Dino Fury Lightning Collection figure I picked up for like $20, and now it's selling for like 80, 100. It's crazy. Some of these later seasons don't necessarily sell like Mighty Morphin does, and when you're in the business industry, no matter if it's Pokemon and you are selling your Pikachus, or if it's Yu-Gi-Oh! And you're still selling Blue Eyes White Dragon and Red Eyes and Dark Magician Girl, you know, the classic characters that were there when you blew up. And every show is different. Some shows don't get popular till like season 3, season 4. Some shows blow up right away. Mighty Morphin was a cultural phenomenon in the 90s. 93, 94, 95, those 3 seasons, and then the movie, like, put Power Rangers as a billion-dollar brand. Like, they made what? I forget now, but it was like 5 or 6 million in the first 7 years. It was crazy. They were raking in the money in merchandise, and the TV show was basically like a giant commercial. Once you watched a few episodes of that, you wanted a Power Morpher, you wanted a Megazord, you wanted all the figures. Like, that was a sick time to be a fan. Mighty Morphin, I don't even think is like the best season. It's just the most iconic and nostalgic, and I think there's something about the suits. So I'm kind of in the middle on this. Like, I fully understand what Dawson Ryder's saying. He's right. There is a sellability. I don't even know if that's a word, but we're going to make it a word. There's a sellability to Mighty Morphin Power Rangers that some of these other seasons that might be a better actual production, they're not as recognized, meaning that like other people don't necessarily buy them right away. Like, great example, I think that In Space and Time Force, Lost Galaxy, like those 3 seasons are probably 3 of the best of all time. And I know there's other ones that are just thinking of 3 really good ones right away. And those will never sell figure-wise comparable to Mighty Morphin. And if they did try to make something newer with Time Force, you don't really have that much of a fan base comparable to Mighty Morphin, because by the time Time Force came out, Power Rangers like fan base comparable to Mighty Morphin was so much smaller. There was a smaller crew because I was in like the 5th or 6th grade, and there was maybe only 1 or 2 other kids in my class at that time that watched it. Now we were getting older, I totally understand that, but as we got older, the Power Ranger seasons became less watched. That is a fact. That's why Disney tried to bring in JDF, because the numbers were down. Pretty much after Mighty Morphin, the numbers started to just slowly go on the decline. That is a big reason why Saban sold the brand in the first place to Disney. Then the numbers kept going down with Disney. They sold it back to Saban, and I will give Nickelodeon and Saban credit when they brought it back for that first few years, like with Samurai. They had the promotion back. They were pretty much doing the same thing like Mighty Morphin, but it was like the new wave Samurai. I remember that being big for a few years, and then by the time that Power Rangers Megaforce came out, it started to die down a little bit, and then by the time we got to like Dino Charge and Ninja Steel, I barely ever saw any promotion ever for those shows. They just aired them at 7 in the morning my time, and it was really hard to watch, getting up early to watch Ninja Steel, and then I'd watch it, and the show wasn't very good either. That was when Saban sold it again, so there is something to be said where if they're not tapping into Mighty Morphin, they're not making as much money as they can. Even in 2017, when they made that reboot, what characters did they use? They used Mighty Morphin characters, but they didn't necessarily give it that Mighty Morphin look or even a Mighty Morphin vibe, if you really think about it. Because like when I'm thinking of Mighty Morphin, I'm thinking of sunny California. I'm thinking of like a little bit of comedy. It doesn't need to be like a comedy movie, but like more positive vibes, music, sunny skies, people working out, trying to better themselves. Like the 2017 movie was like the opposite tone from Mighty Morphin, and that's a whole other like video and talk. But I think what I'm trying to say is Mighty Morphin has like a set of elements that sell, and if you put it all together, not only do nostalgic fans still check it out, I think that the younger generation might actually know what it is. And that's what gets me to my next fan theory. And this is something that I was thinking about, was if they were to incorporate Mighty Morphin, I think it would be smart to put it into an animated show. Maybe not make no live action exact Mighty Morphin, but do something similar to the comics with a like a TV-14, PG-13 style series, with a TV-14 style series similar to the Boom comics, where you're telling really good stories, but you're using the Mighty Morphin characters. You can tell some new stories or elaborate on certain episodes, characters, monsters, and things that we never really heard about since. I mean, what happened to Scorpina? What happened to certain other characters that we've never seen again? They could like put this all together and tell new versions of Mighty Morphin that would intrigue older fans, but also be something new and recognizable. And I think that could make you some money. I've talked about for years making a preschool type show where you've got all the different Rangers, but you could start with like Mighty Morphin. You know, when you watch like Spidey and His Amazing Friends on Disney Plus, it's 3 Spider-Man. You got like a Spider-Gwen, you got Miles Morales, and you got Peter Parker. You got one, or I should say Miles very recognizable now because of the movies and stuff. So you got 2 very recognizable characters, and then Spider-Gwen kind of like in the last 10, 15 years, that character's really starting to blow up and becoming recognizable. Then every episode, it seems like you have other Avengers or other Marvel villains popping up in the show. So they're giving you a handful of recognizable characters and then giving you other new characters, introducing you to the line of Marvel heroes and villains. And that's what we could do with a Power Rangers animation preschool show. I think, though, that it would make the most sense with Mighty Morphin if you were to do something similar to what Voltron did with Netflix. How they had like a way more better elaborate version of Voltron compared to like the 80s one, but it was those characters. It was that style. The stories were better. The storytelling was just awesome. There was more character progression. Like, I actually really liked the first few seasons of Voltron, the newer Netflix show. Like, that was awesome. They could do something like that and it would be fun. You would get some Mighty Morphin fans, and there's something about those suits. If you kind of replicate the vibe, but make it newer with some good storytelling, kind of like what they're doing with X-Men 97 or Spidey, the what's it called? Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. They're kind of redoing these characters in a way, but also kind of paying homage to some of the older characters. Like, it's cool what they're doing, especially with like X-Men 97. And I know that they're like cartoons, but we could do something Mighty Morphin animated. That would make the most sense to me. And then you could actually possibly get some of the crew to voice act their own characters. Like, if Adam's in the show, why couldn't we get Johnny Young Bosch or something, right? You got Aisha, hit up Karen Ashley. Like, that would be a lot of fun just thinking about it. And there's so many different teams and storylines and things within Mighty Morphin and Zords that they could talk about and make new stories. I would absolutely love it. Like, they could make like a 5-part miniseries about the power transfer episodes when Jason, Trini, and Zach leave, when they get their other powers. What is it? The Omega powers? Like, you could do something all about that, and then they come back to Mighty Morphin. There's so many cool stories, plots, characters. Oh my gosh. And the more that I think about it, the more I actually get excited about it, and I want them to do something original too. Don't get me wrong. That's what I've been pushing since the beginning. But just thinking about it, and Dawson made a really good point. Like, he brought up a lot of good points that Mighty Morphin, no matter what, pays the bills. And if Playmates sees an opportunity to make some more money, and like once this line comes up, if they sell out real quick and they're already like confirmed for a wave 2, this could be an indicator that maybe they're going to jump more into Mighty Morphin, and maybe you make a cartoon. Like, we're looking at TMNT right now, killing it with that new style animation, with that new series, and what is it, the new movie that came out of what, a year or two ago at this point. But I appreciate what they're doing with Ninja Turtles right now. They're still giving you those characters that you love, but they're almost for a different generation. And that's something as a fan I can appreciate, because you have to figure out how to adapt. But at the same time, when I watched these shows, I liked it. When I watched that Transformers 1, I liked it. I like what they did with it. They made it a little bit newer for the younger generation, but took some characters that we appreciated and gave it good stories. We don't really care what you do with it. Just make it good. And if you make it good, people are going to eventually watch it. That's what we're in right now. If you make something good with the internet and reviews, social media, stuff like that, people are going to eventually flock and figure out if it's good, when it's good, and they'll jump to it. But just give us something decent, man. And that's really what we care about. So I don't care if it's Mighty Morphin. I would love to see something original. That's what I've been begging for years. But if we need to make some Mighty Morphin money one time to give us something original, I'm not against it. And if we're going to do something Mighty Morphin to make some money, here's an idea. You know, why don't we do an animated series like the Boom series comics? There's so many stories and things that you could do, and you would impress the fans. You would make them happy, because a lot of fans don't read the comics. I've only read probably 20, 30 comics in my day. I've got a whole thing of them, and I'm more into collecting them. I love them. I don't want to mess them up, man. I want to get some of these graded. I just love the designs, but also I love the stories. Like, every comic that I have read, I put it down like, yo, this is fire. Like, why can't they make a show like this? So I think it's about that time, and they could probably work something out with Boom where like they have all of those stories and things to use. You wouldn't even need the best writers in the world if you're just pulling from these really good stories already put together, right? I don't think it's gonna like take a bunch of money to hire the number one animated writers or something like that, because you already have the bones for it. So go look at all these comics and see what you're gonna do. I mean, John Semper Jr., who made Spider-Man the animated series, he took a shit ton of comics and like took a bit of this, took a bit of that to throw into episodes. It was awesome. Some episodes were based off of, you know, a full comic, and then some episodes had like 3 to 4 elements of other comics into one. They could have a lot of fun with that. I'm not going to lie. I think that would be your best option if you're going Mighty Morphin. I've been saying for years I want something original. I'd love to see something, you know, a little different. But at the same time, I understand that Mighty Morphin makes some money. So if they need to make some money so they can give us something else, I understand it. But what are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments. Shout out all the fans out there that take the time out of their day to watch this content. You are the real MVPs, and we'll see you next time. Peace. I want to give a special shout out to the Gold Ranger members, Salima Ramirez, Stephen Heffelman, Anime King Nick, Louis Cairns, Papillon Purple, Thomas Franco, and Troy Lyon. Thank you guys so much for your support, and if you want a video shout out like this one, sign up to be a Gold Ranger member today. Hey, what's going on? Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like, subscribe, hit that share button, and if you can, please sign up to be a member today. We have 3 membership power-ups. We have the Gold Ranger power-up, the most popular. You get into our exclusive fan club chat group. We have fan exclusive videos that we are adding monthly now, and you get a video shout out. Yes, folks, at the end of our videos, I will shout out your name. We also have the Quantum Ranger power up where you get monthly meetings online with me. Yes, folks, we will talk once a month on Zoom, and you can give me your ideas for future episodes. And then we have a professional package, the Dr. K power up. That is for businesses that want to tap into the platform. If you guys can, please sign up to be a member today. It is highly appreciated, and it helps us keep these videos going. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
Hi, we're Bulk and Skull. We have been requested by the fan club to say something funny.